Yeah. Reporting live from the 202. It's Beats, Rhymes, and Life podcast, episode 20, y'all. Yeah, we on number 20.
Wow.
We making moves. Y'all know what it is. StackDoe DeNero Tanji up in this thing. What's going on, girl?
Woo, it's hot.
Yes. It's a hot one out there, John.
But I love it. I don't like the humidity, but I love the heat. I like the sun. I like being outside.
Yeah.
I don't want to be indoors.
It's a lot of people out, too, for it to be as hot as it is. There's just a lot of folks out there busting moves all that in the streets, man.
Because the rain is coming.
True.
I think that's the thing, too. We trying to enjoy the last little bit of our summer.
Before the rain hit. Right.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell y'all something. As hot as it is out this joint, make sure y'all stay hydrated and don't forget to put your deodorant on, all right? Because it's going to be cranking out this joint today, man. But got a lot to get to today. We got a special guest up in the studio, man. I'm going to introduce my man in a minute. Make sure, though, y'all get with us on social media, though. Y'all know how we do. Catch us on Facebook at BRL Podcast DMV, on Twitter at BRL Crew DMV. We're on Instagram as well. You can catch us on Beats, Rhymes, and Life. That's Life with a Y. Also, we all over your favorite streaming services. Subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and our YouTube channel. Don't forget to rate, review, and leave us some feedback. You know, we like to hear from y'all, as I always say. So, you know, let's be interactive, man. Holler at us. Let us know what's cracking, man. As I said, we have a special guest in the studio today. I've been following this brother for a long time. He's been putting in work. He's a humble, quiet guy, but I'm telling you, his resume is off the charts, man. Joining us in studio today, we got super producer Judah in the building. What's up, Judah?
What's up, y'all? Happy to be here.
Yeah, man, we glad to have you, brother. How was Houston, man? I know you just getting back in town. You was out there putting in some work, man. How'd that go?
It's hotter than here. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's hot.
Oh, don't say
Texas
that,
is
though.
hot.
Don't say
Texas
that.
is hot.
I'm
But it's
looking
love
forward
out
to
Houston.
it.
I like Houston.
Yeah.
Houston is like a second DC when you really think about it.
Oh, yeah? How was that?
So, you know, just I relate everything to music, right? So coming up, you know, DC was real big lovers of Scarface and rap a lot.
No
and,
doubt.
You know what I'm saying?
No
So
doubt.
DC and Houston has a real connection with music and just our original musical sounds in terms of rap and hip hop. So
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Yeah.
So, can you let us in on who you were working with out there, or are you still trying to keep it under wraps?
I mean, I don't really say nothing. You know, it's all independent artists, but
Okay.
you know, it's definitely somebody connected to that whole J Prince lineage and rap a lot. So I go out there quite frequently and work. You know,
Nice. And DC got a lot of representation out there. I guess it started with Steve Francis, right? Steve Francis went down that joint.
yeah, that's what I'm
Took
saying.
We All One down there.
Yeah. It's deep down there. A lot of DC folks live out there. A lot of Houston folks come out here, but that's what I'm saying. It's like a second home, a second DC for real, you know, out there. So we heavy out there.
That's what's up. So we gonna talk to you, you know, get to know you, and then if you don't mind, we gonna jump into a couple of our topics, man. We usually like to run through the topics of the week,
Right.
whatever was happening in the culture of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We chop it up about it, and you know, you being in the game and having so much experience, we gonna definitely love to hear your take on what we talking about this week. So, you know, we gonna get to know you first, though. So first off, you grew up in Northeast DC.
Northeast, Benning Road, Clay Street, you know, all
Over there
that
by
area.
the
on
shrimp
that
boat.
side.
Yeah, Shrimp Boat, Denny's, everybody remember, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying, that area. You know, from there, Suitland, Capitol Heights, everywhere,
Okay.
you know, but you know how we are. We go from
We
place to
move
place.
around, yeah, all around the DMV.
You folks get a little money, they move out a little bit, come back. You know how it is. You know,
It's only right, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? You got to
yeah.
level up, you know what I mean, when it gets to that point in time. So tell us, how did growing up in this area influence you musically?
I mean, you know, just initially, you know, go, right?
Of
Either,
course.
you know, when you're a youngin', you know, you starting a band, right? You want to start a band, you want to be a part of a band, you want to be the lead mic, you know, whatever.
Right.
But it kind of changed for me when I was, you know, looking at video jukebox and BET
Okay.
and Rap City and the
Yeah.
basement.
The box.
And I was able to understand and realize that it's something other than go-go, you know, which is rap, hip-hop, you know, all that stuff is out there. So that I kind of gravitated to that a little bit more than trying to start a band. You know what I mean?
And that's unique because that's rare for people around here. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Usually we gravitate towards the bands and the go-go. That's what we know.
Right.
So how did that go into production? Like,
I mean, coming from here, you know, you start a band, and I like though when we have conversations about just this area, we always talk about this area being like a first generation rap, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you coming up in this area, you either taught to work for Metro, be a federal employee, you know what I'm saying,
definitely.
work for the state. But for me, it was, you know, me getting out of here and going to school and playing ball up in Pittsburgh and meeting other guys and other people that had studios, were into music, and you know, they kind of put me on to how to produce, and then that's where it kind of flourished for me.
Okay.
Really getting out of here, you know what I'm saying? And God bless, you know, I was able to go out of here and go to another state and meet some other people, and it kind of opened me up to music. You know what I mean?
Nice.
Yeah, no doubt. Who are some of your musical influences in the game that you grew up looking up to and just kind of taking notes from?
Yeah, your typicals, you know, your Dre's, your you know, your RZA's, your Alchemist, your Pete Rocks. You know what I'm saying?
People don't throw that one out there a lot though.
Yeah,
Alchemist is dope.
Yeah, Chuck Brown, Chucky Thompson, you know.
No doubt.
That's when I really realized that we can be from here and we can do stuff on a major level. But I mean, just your typical, from my generation, your typical, you know, staple producers, you know what I mean? And also too, when I was coming up, when I got into music, you know, everybody was playing music, everybody was using live instrumentation, and I was probably one of the first to, not the first to sample from here, but to really go hard on sampling and making records and making mixtapes that were sampled heavy and doing all that type of stuff. So, you know, I didn't have a whole band playing my stuff. I'm not musically, classically trained or anything, so, you know.
Okay. Now, did you always know you wanted to get into music in some way? Because you mentioned football. Was football kind of first as far as, you know, love in your heart? Did you love the football first and then the music kind of fell into your lap, or how did that come about?
Yeah, so football was my first because it got me my degree, you know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And I probably, you know, to be very honest, I probably wouldn't have went to school if it wasn't for me participating in football and getting a scholarship and leaving the area, you know what I mean? But then, you know, I pursued the pro for like 2-3 years, and then once they realized they didn't want me, and I realized I didn't want to sacrifice and do that, you know what I'm saying? That's where it kind of broke off for me. But the wild thing is, when I was in college, I met a dude who's still my friend, one of my best friends today. He took me to his house in Indiana, and he had a studio in his house. Okay. And then that's when I really realized that this can happen. It's tangible. He gave me a catalog with some equipment in it. You know, he was just rapping, we just talking, and then I realized that, you know, hey, I can go buy a beat machine and do that. So I always did it, but then when I realized that, you know, football was over for me, I had a business degree, major in business management, minor in entrepreneurship. So it's only right that you start your business.
Start your own joint,
I
right.
love the architecture of music production. So I just started messing with it. And then, you know, we can go on and on, but it really started for me messing with the city paper.
Okay.
Learning the hustle of how to put a free ad in the city paper. And then I started getting people calling me for beats. And then when the first band said, how much you want for that, I knew it was a wrap.
You was in there, yeah.
It was a wrap. So, you know, it was what it was.
Now, you mentioned football. I'm going to get off music for a minute because I'm a football dude. So she's smiling because she know. So where you come out of? What school you come out of?
I came out of Central. I went to Dunbar and I went to Central.
What year?
I came out of Central in 96.
Okay, so that was around my time.
Yeah, I came out with some heavy hitters in 96, and a lot of people got drafted in 96. But
96 was a good year, man.
96 was a heavy year. Then I went to Robert Morris University in Pittsburgh, Division I AA. Spent 3 years up there, won 3 championships, Division I AA championships, went to Bowie State for a year.
What position?
Wide receiver / tight end.
Okay,
you know And then went on and did Baltimore, did the Skins, I did Green Bay, Detroit. Did a little arena league for a while. Then I was like, you know what? I got a degree after this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
it wasn't really. I didn't really love it like the Bama's that played 13, 15 years love it. You know what I'm saying? Mentally, physically, I didn't really love it like that.
We might have to get you back on before football season because I don't want to dip too much into football because that's my shit right there. And I came out the year after you. I went to Laurel.
Okay.
So I came out with Lamont Jordan and Dave Johnson. Those are my rivals.
Yeah,
You know
I know
what
what you're
I'm
talking about. I know you're talking about. Yeah, for sure.
And out of all of them, the only one to go pro was Lamont. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I played against.
Play Lamont Jordan. I used to train with him at Suitland.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I played against Julian Peterson.
Yeah, I played
he was
against
at Cross, and he came out your year.
Yeah.
That was the last year they was in the 4A.
Yeah. I mean, I took the SAT with Julian Peterson.
Okay. Okay.
Like 8 times. You know what I'm saying? So,
Hey, that's all right though. You made it happen though. Yeah, you made it happen. You persevered. That's what's up, man. Now I read somewhere that you were self-taught as far as learning how to operate the equipment and all of that stuff. How did you get into that? How did you teach yourself how to operate all that? Off the top.
You just get it, you buy it, and you just sit there till you figure it out. You know what I'm saying? But I kind of, I'm the type of person when I do something, I just go all in. So the first equipment I bought, I got my first studio. You know what I'm saying? And I had an office space, put the equipment in there, and just sat in there all day trying to learn a joint. And so that's kind of how I started. But I'm self-taught everything. I don't know how to read music. I just play by ear. I sample. I replay stuff. And that's just how it kind of evolved, you know what I'm saying? But you just put the hours in, put the work in. You know what I mean?
That's amazing, man. Yeah, I read somewhere when Kanye was coming up in his early years, he spent like a whole summer.
Yeah, that's
inside.
the story.
All
Yeah,
he did was make beats, and his niggas came through, seen him. Nigga ain't had no haircut.
right.
Beard was crazy. Like he wasn't even coming out the house. Like, is that the kind of dedication that it took for you to, learn the equipment, learn how to operate things, and just kind of get yourself in that groove?
Yeah, I mean, you early 20s, mid 20s, ain't nothing really important to you but yourself and eating and doing whatever you're trying to be great at. You know what I mean? So I just sat in that studio and started marketing myself, marketing the studio, marketing the beats, and using the city paper and getting out to all the open mics, and that's kind of how it happened. You know what I'm saying?
And all that,
and that was a different time back then too. So
it was.
It was a good time though, a real good time.
Internet wasn't really popping. You had to get out there in the streets and move and shake and talk to people.
Yeah, definitely. It wasn't a thing. You know what I'm saying? You hard copies and going to shows, mom and pop stores, and things like that. So it was an awesome time.
What was the industry like here? Like, what was the music environment like here during that time?
Actually, it was an awesome time. A lot of people don't remember, either they too young or they really wasn't into music at that time. But there were a lot of open mics, a lot of independent labels. I had an opportunity when I came up to work with, Section 8 Mob and Hood Life Money and Chocolate City Records, and a lot of these record labels were independent record labels that had, did their own shows, did their own, tours, and shot their own videos. And it was real live off the end of the whole, independent drug rap, street rap, you know what I'm saying? And it was a phenomenal time. They had a lot of shows, a lot of videos, a lot of, mixed it with the go-go bands. Like, it was an awesome time. And unfortunately, it's not really like that no more. But I'm talking about Maryland to D.C. to Virginia. Like, it was just phenomenal.
What do you think changed from then to now, though? Why did we kind of lose sight of that momentum right there?
I mean, it ushered in that internet, the whole internet, the whole street rap kind of went out for a while, and then went to the whole. A different type of rap where it's about shoes and about clothes and about, video games and all types of different stuff. But it just switched, and then a lot of those labels didn't know how to adjust. They either got locked up or they didn't know how to deal with the internet. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it kind of broke for me, because I was working with all those street labels and street artists. And then, I had a studio for about 6 or 7 years, and then I had, the opportunity of running into Wale and Kenny Burns and doing business, and that's when that ushering that whole internet came in, and it just changed the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no doubt. Now let's see. Now you got Dre. Dre is known for his drums a lot of the time. Also, you know, you got Premier. He's known for his, you know, I would say cutting people's names, chopping people's names, scratching the names and different sound bites into the music. You got Pete Rock. He's more known for like his jazzy samples or whatnot. What would you say your signature is?
I mean, I just make music, man. I don't even think about it like no signature or nothing. I just have fun sampling, playing stuff, making beats, making my own drums. You know what I mean? I don't really have no signature sound, and I really don't really, don't really think about it enough to be like, oh, this is my signature sound. My hi-hat always drop on the third. Like, I don't care about that.
What do you think people would say about your signature? Do you think they would have something to pinpoint and say, man, that's that Judas sound right there?
I really don't even know, man. I don't know. You know, I don't really talk to be like, oh, what you like about my beat? I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
You just do your thing.
Just make beats. You know, we have good times in the studio. You know, we get paid and we just, keep it moving. But I don't really think of it like that. Okay. I just make beats, and a lot of times, probably 99% of the time, everything that I make is released, or I never listen to it again. You know what I'm saying? So it's just one of those situations.
Yeah. Just be in the moment with it.
Be in the moment and move on. Create and release, So, yeah.
Now, talk about your music making process. You know, what's that like? What inspires you once you get in the studio?
So, it's different for me because I don't sit around and make beats all day. I never was that person, especially in your 30s. And, I don't sit around all day. In the 20s, I used to do that, you know what I'm saying? But now it's kind of more or less like I only make beats when I'm paid to work on somebody's project or I'm inspired by something. But other than that, I don't make beats. Like I'll go, 6 months, 4 or 5 months without making beats.
Wow. Okay.
But during that time, I mix people's projects.
Okay.
I'm traveling. I'm also work for London EMI, so I oversee other people's projects.
You just signed with them recently, didn't you?
No, I've been with them for a minute. I just read up, but
okay.
I oversee people's projects where I don't really have to produce. I can get producers with artists and tell them kind of where to go and help them kind of go where they need to go. But I don't touch buttons or anything like that. But then when I do, I work on a beat tape or I'll work on production for another artist or something. So
right.
But really, I just sample, I'll play, I figure it out. So much technology out there now. I just mess around, you know what I'm saying? If something really get me inspired, I'll just go over there and start making something.
Right.
But it's not, I don't have to have doves in the studio and like incense, knock, chomper, burning. You know what I mean? Like
that's
it's just
funny
one of
as
those
shit,
things.
dog. I was just about to ask you, what are some things that you have to have in the studio when you're going through your process? Some binders, they like to have their trees in there. They gotta have it. I used to fuck with when I used to be in the studio with Pratt, Gene Pratt from JY. He had to have a bottle of Remy in that joint.
Right,
you know what I'm saying? That was his shit.
See, I don't drink, I don't smoke.
Okay.
I smoke-free studio, so it's kind of like water, good people, and some fruit or, anything that I like to eat. But like I say, it's not really that type of situation, man. I just create, then when I'm done, I let them stay and I leave and, you know what I mean, go live some life and do some other stuff and then come back and
get after it again.
Yeah, that's just what it, how it works for me. You know what I mean?
Talk about the EMI situation, because now this is the same EMI that Gangstar was signed to back in the day,
this
right?
is the big label EMI, but this is the London division. You know what I'm saying? So that kind of happened after I put out a record probably like in 2010 called Sundresses and Sandals. And it was like a little record that I had. And big shout out to DJ Quicksilver, because he was the one that really kind of pushed it for me on the radio and really enjoyed it, and Easy Street and them. But that's how I kind of got over there and doing that, because I'm not a rapper, and I gave it to like B.O.B., who was hot at the time. I gave it to Tabby Bonet, Snoop Dogg, and none of them really, kind of vibe with it. And I was like, man, this is a dope song. I'm going to put it out myself. And I just put it out, and then it kind of caught attention, got some rotation for the summer, and they just play it for the summer. And that kind of helped me get to that. I always wanted something where I wasn't really producing like that heavy. I just wanted to oversee production and, help other people put projects together, because I did that with Studio 43 when we were doing Studio 43 Wale stuff, and I did that when I had my artist. So, it was just kind of those things. That's kind of what I wanted to get it to.
Got you. Now you mentioned Wale, you mentioned Tabby Bonet, but you've worked with the Clips, you work with Ras Kass, you don't work with Stolly. Excuse me, just to name a few. Are there any artists that you have a special chemistry with that you've worked with before? Like once you get in the studio, y'all just get in that joint and it's just automatic. Y'all just make magic.
I mean, I think when Tabby was heavy, we did a lot of good stuff together. I really liked Tabby, and I think he was underappreciated.
He was a creative dude, man.
A lot of people used to, joan on him and say he was whack at that time, and I get it why they would say that, but when you really think about that time and what he did, I don't think really people really understand and appreciate what he was doing and the music he was making, how he was doing it. I mean, we would get in the studio and it would just be so effortlessly, it would just move so effortless. And he's a creative dude. He's not afraid to, and very humble, very quiet. It's not a bunch of rah-rah in the studio. You know what I mean? So, but I mean, I look at it too, like nobody is more special than anybody. It's really, it's all special for that moment and that time and that experience, and everybody has its pros and cons. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
I mean, it's just everything is special. It's just the pro and con to it.
What are you up to now?
He should re-release that album that had the parachute song on it.
Yeah. We did all that, recorded, mixed, did a lot of stuff.
He should re-release it because in this time, it would work.
And that's what I always say. He was before his time.
He was.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
he was way before his time. And as far as the videos, the imagery, the music itself, he was way before his time. And I'm just blessed to have, worked with him and done a lot of work with him during that time. And can't know too many people say that, to say that they was a part of that. They was a part of Wale, they was a part of UCB. You know what I'm saying? Like, and also the pioneering street labels, Black Indian. You know what I'm saying? How many people can say that, they've just been there and done a lot of that stuff for people, you know what I mean?
No doubt. Yeah, last I heard, Tabby was out LA. He was still doing videos.
He's
and
doing
stuff
coffee.
Like that.
He's doing coffee, selling coffee.
He got
a
skincare line or something like that.
Yeah, he got a coffee farm over in Africa. Like, that's what we always just. It's about doing other stuff. I do other stuff outside of music now.
Photography.
We all just elevate and progress. You know what I'm saying? So,
y'all some talented people, man. I tell y'all, man. Now, again, we mentioned all the guys you've worked with, excuse me, in the past. Who are some artists that you kind of look forward to working with in the future?
I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I really don't. You know what I mean? I don't think about it like that.
Okay.
To be very honest, because a lot of the artists that I like, they aren't making music anymore. A lot of the producers that I like, they're really not producing anymore. But I like to, if I know an artist like this dude named Sweezo, this guy, brought him through my studio the other day before I left, and I think he's dope. And so if it's a dope artist, and I always love finding artists before they blow up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because that's a testament to me that my ear is sharp, and then also I always like to be that dude that be like, Judah worked with him before he blew up. Then when he blow up, they go off and do some be Bammers. But I like to work with them before they blow up, because you get the essence of what they trying to do and who they are, and you really make some honest music at that time. You know what I'm saying?
No question, man.
I like to find artists, find new artists,
discover. You like the discovering part, discovering aspect.
Like Phil Ade, like. All those artists, they bring
Uptown XO. You did a lot with XO too.
Yeah. I did XO first EP.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I like to really just, find people and work with them while they, when they want to come up. That's my thing.
No doubt. I feel you. What's your take on the current DC rap scene?
I like it, man. I really
got a lot of guys getting some national burn. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I like a lot of what they're doing, and I have an interesting take on that. When it comes to the music that they release, though, and I only say that because, you two probably have been in the mix for a minute, but I don't really think nobody has made a DC album. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nobody has made a DC album, and I'm gonna tell you the criteria. The criteria is, it's produced by DC producers, it's recorded in DC, it's mixed and mastered in DC. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Nah, Bammers get on and they go to Atlanta, they go to California, you know what I'm saying? And their projects are mixed by people from all over the world, mastered, videos even shot from people. Like that's what I mean, a DC album. And I compare that to Nas. You loved Illmatic. Why? Because it was all New York producers, the staple of New York production, photos from a New York photographer, recorded in New York, mixed and mastered in New York, and it's a classic album. Kendrick, recorded, L.A., mixed and mastered by L.A. guy, produced by a majority L.A. guys, L.A., so, but we don't do that here. We get on, we go somewhere else, and I get it, but nobody, and I challenge anybody out there to tell me who did a real DC nationally released album from a signed artist. Nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody.
We got to get there, man, because it's a lot of time.
Put that in perspective for you.
Yeah, no doubt about it, man. I mean, and I agree with you, man. I think the homegrown type of thing, it keep it real to the essence of where we from. You know what I'm saying? You get that sauce, that we can bring to the table. So yeah, I agree. I would love to see something like that.
That's crazy. And you just think, and I'm gonna put this out there, and I don't have no problem putting ideas out there because people still got to execute them. But what if you had an album produced by Odyssey, BKS, Kev Brown, Chucky Thompson, Rich Harrison, myself? You had features from Rico Nasty, a hook from Fat Trail, Shy Glizzy on the intro. You got the mayor's son, you got, and it's all recorded, mixed and mastered in the city.
It would be a masterpiece.
Can you imagine it? Can you imagine that?
So
I can.
That's crazy.
I can. And that's what it would take to get us on the map, like put that certified stamp on DC as, yes, we hip hop. We here, we got something to bring to the table. So we got something to say, like Dre said on the Source Awards. We got something to say.
And it's a step deeper than that. Everybody from the area, they all getting publishing checks. They all getting money and residuals, and they're a part of a classic that's gonna feed their family. That's the issue. I care about that. Giving opportunity and getting these people money for what they do, but we go give Atlanta cats money and we go give LA cats money and New York cats money and publishing, and and that's where I had an issue at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of artists, man, they do, when they try to get on, they try to build a buzz here and then leave here, go somewhere else. And it's like, I guess, I don't know, it seems like they feel like once they get the love outside of here, they can come back here and then get it here. You know what I'm saying? Instead of staying rooted here and building it.
Right.
And then going out.
I really think, it's two things. They've always been in the industry before they got on. That was always their goal. Once they got on, they was going to peace out. They was going to roll.
Yeah.
Or they get out there and then they just got so many people in their ear and they can't, distinguish what's really where they need to go, where they need to head, right? And it take a special artist to be like, you know what? Nah, my masterpiece, I'm going to do my Illmatic, my Good Kid, Mad City. I need to do it a certain way, and I need to put all these pioneers and new cats together and create a masterpiece. Yeah. And that's really where, but a lot of them, they just, they go with what people tell them to do.
A little jaded when it come to that.
Yeah, they can't really understand the difference. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah.
But they don't also have no OGs in their ear telling them, cool, go out there and do that, but let's do this. And when you think about it, Kendrick had OGs in his ear telling him, do this. Nas had Q-Tip and Large in his ear telling him, and Premier, do this. You get what I'm saying? So they don't have no OGs. They have people their age doing whatever they say do. You get what I'm saying? So that's the difference. They don't have no OGs in their ear saying, look, yeah, go out there, Cali, and kill, but you need to make a DC album, and that's going to really cement you in this legacy and really make people want to come here and vibe out and get our vibes. You know what I'm saying?
I think a lot of the OGs are telling them the same thing as their peers as well, because people like to say that there's a lot of hate in this area, the crabs in the bucket mentality. We don't want to work together and collaborate. I hear that a lot, at least the collaborative part of it.
Right. And you're right, but that's everywhere.
That's what
You go to Atlanta, it's the same way. You go to Cali,
thing.
it's the same way. people act like this is it's an anomaly here. Nah, it's like that everywhere. But the Bahamas don't get out and go nowhere else, so they wouldn't know. You know what I'm saying? But it's like that everywhere. You go anywhere, it's like that. So people got to get out and travel and see that. Nah, it's not just here. It's everywhere. Every city and state is the same exact way. So, that's not an excuse anymore. You know what I'm saying?
Get out of the bubble, y'all. Free game. Free game. Before we jump into our topics, man, I definitely want to get your take on this. Tanji and I, we were talking about this last week. The whole situation with JD, the comments he made about the current landscape of female rappers. Now, JD's a producer, you being a producer. What are your thoughts on his comments about that?
I mean, I understand what he was trying to say. He just said it the wrong way.
That's what I was saying.
You get what I'm saying? It's not a stripper thing. You know what I'm saying? If anything, a lot of more scammies, like scamming people and getting money, and then you know what I'm saying. But it's the same way with the dudes. But he just said it the wrong way. You know what I'm saying? And it's just he just didn't communicate and articulate it properly. But at the end of the day, it's a rise. The females are killing. You know what I mean? And I love to see it. I like it because, at one point, there wasn't no female rappers. You know what I'm saying? So I really like it. Of course, I wouldn't mind some different content, and I wouldn't mind praising Rhapsody and Tierra Whack the same way we praise Meg Thee Stallion. But that's just the world we live in. You know what I'm saying? So, but it's dope artists out there, and also too, he probably not listening to nothing unless somebody say, "Here, listen to this."
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I can't really fault him for he just sounded ignorant, uneducated.
Sound a little ignorant,
uneducated.
No doubt. All right, let's jump into these topics, man. We ain't get to talk about Homeboy last week, but let's talk ASAP Rocky because we had another development yesterday. So basically, y'all know the situation. ASAP Rocky's been locked up in Sweden for about 3 weeks now. Assault situation. He was caught on tape getting into a fight with a couple of folks over there in Sweden after they had come over and had been harassing him for a long time. They got into a little situation. He was taken in by authorities, been locked up over there for, like I said, for the last 3 weeks or so. First reports were saying he was locked up in inhumane conditions. He was housed next to somebody who was throwing shit on the wall, and they wasn't feeding him properly. He only had like one apple a day since he had been there. You know what I mean? Just talking about real inhumane conditions according to his peoples. Then the photos started coming out of what Sweden jails really look like. And everybody was like, hold up, nigga, like you in a college dorm and shit chilling. You know what I'm saying? But later, everybody kind of found out, I guess as more information came out, I think initially where he was locked up was probably a little rough, but once he's transferred, or once they transfer your inmates, whatever the inmates are over there, they transfer them to a little more better conditions, I would say. So he's still there, people fighting for him and stuff like that. Yesterday, Trump came out, had a press conference with Kanye and Kim in the joint. So now Kim K is working with Donald Trump on trying to get ASAP out of jail. I know how I feel about that already, but what are y'all thoughts on that, Tanji? What you think about that? How that's kind of developing as this story goes?
It's just amazing how like money and influence like play a role in our justice, not just in our justice system, but a global justice system. You could pretty much use your power and influence to get out of anything. It's crazy that it's happened to ASAP Rocky out of all people. I don't think that people were so like connected to him where they're gonna automatically like run to his rescue or like, all right, free ASAP Rocky, because he's been in for a minute, but the media attention didn't get out there until this whole Trump thing happened. Like this week, it seemed like the media attention on this story just was
elevated a little bit,
a lot. It was on, anything that has to do with the president and
especially this past week.
Issues,
you're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like election year is coming up soon. All of this plays a role in it.
Yeah, you think he trying to capture some black voters by doing this?
He basically said on TV that he has black friends, and you know that's the.
No, he said that's my African American right there. That's what he said. That's my African American.
It's like the thing that's supposed to validate white people for not being racist.
Right. Well
Well
said.
No, I mean he's gonna get reelected anyway, whether the black people vote for him or not.
Woo, don't say that. Don't jinx us now, please.
It's no jinx.
Please,
It's no jinx.
don't jinx us. We just gonna skip right over that. We not gonna entertain that shit. What you think, Judah? How this is kind of unraveling before our eyes. Now we got Trump getting involved.
I mean,
Where we going?
Politicians gonna politic, man. And you know, at the end of the day, I mean, Sweden is a beautiful place, and you know, their criminal system is a little bit different than our criminal system. To be honest with you, and you go over there, like it's different. You know what I mean? And so, I don't think they treat them. You know, it's the news, right? It's glamorizing, but they're not. They're very happy people. They treating them with soft hands. If I had, humbly speaking, if I had a take on it, so they're not. It's not anything. But at the end of the day, you know, politics they're gonna politic. And from Kanye saying, "Hey, this is my friend is over here," in that tweet, and then they going like it's politics. It's all optics. You know what I'm saying? It's all optics, and so I mean, I really don't think about it that much. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just they all Bamas. You know what I mean?
I can agree with that. It's funny though. I just had a thought yesterday, man. When I heard that shit, I feel like anytime Trump and Kim Kardashian working together, I feel like Trump is just trying to beat that. Like that's why he working with her and helping her get these few little black folks out who are in these situations. I feel like he's trying to hit that, man.
Hey,
I mean, I hate to say, you know, whatever.
He's a white man.
This is all entertainment.
but that's how. But you know, she's using that to her advantage, which I think is smart. I mean, I'm sure she knows. Like, look, he probably just trying to smash this Jones, so he trying to help.
They use each other.
It's all entertainment.
Both of them are social media conduits.
It's all entertainment. It's all entertainment.
They know what words to use. They know what's going to get the clicks.
It's all entertainment.
This is how they made their living.
This is true.
This is how he won the election, and this is how she's made her living. Man. So do not doubt the power of their influence whatsoever.
Right.
All entertainment.
They're probably two of the most influential people in America today.
Right now, yeah, 100% right.
It's crazy to think that, ain't it?
I know.
Right. That's some crazy shit, but that's facts. That's super facts right there, man. We're going to see what happens. But I swear, Joe, I feel like, man, Trump is working with her. He just trying to get a little taste, man. He trying to get a little taste. And if he can get this dude out, it's this one step closer to that. You know what I'm saying?
But at the end of the day, too, you know, the flip side is, you know, she has gotten some people out in some situations.
She's done some good work.
Right. And that's what we want now. Is it, okay, double meaning where I get some clicks, I get some views, I can wrap my deal up, of course.
Right.
But then also, you know, she's saving some lives, so I'm with it.
She is.
She is.
And she seemed to be genuine about it, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, big up to her, man. But yeah, let's see what happens with that. Let's move on real quick. I definitely want to get y'all take on this, on the new Nas joint, Lost Tapes 2. Just dropped yesterday. Seen a lot of mixed reviews online. I've given this album 3 listens. I gave it the 3rd listen on my way over here, just so I could, you know, really know what the hell, how to say and how to review it and give it a fair assessment. So let me just give a little background. So basically, Lost Tapes 2 just dropped yesterday. 17 years, that's right, 17 years after the original Lost Tapes came out in 2002, my man Nas finally drops this Lost Tapes sequel, and it features tracks that basically didn't make the cut on some of his previous albums like Hip Hop is Dead, Untitled, Life is Good, and even last year's Nasir. 16 tracks, got some heavy hitters on there on the production side. I went through the whole album, the entire track list, and I kind of just made a note of some of the ones that I fuck with. But overall, I ain't gonna lie. Like I was kind of talking to Tanji a little bit yesterday. After the first listen, I was getting ready to come in here and trash that jump. I didn't. I was like, "What the fuck is this? This ain't Lost Tapes." You know, Lost Tapes 1 like that. You know what I'm saying? But listening to it again, I found some gems, man, off the no bullshit. So I'm gonna say, before we dip into whatever songs we fuck with or whatever, I think what you smiling at, yeah?
Because I'm surprised.
Okay, but listen, though.
I liked it.
You liked it? Okay,
Off
good.
the first listen.
Good. That's good. Okay. Maybe I was a little extra critical of the joint, but I mean the rhyme schemes, the fucking bars are there. The bars are definitely there. He ain't fall off at all. No slippage with the bars. I was a little bit skeptical about some of the production, but like I said, after listening to it again, I got a couple joints that I fuck with. Off the top of your head, what would you say about that album?
Off the top of my head, it was only one song that I skipped.
Okay, you remember which one that was?
Yeah, it was early. I think it's
the Vernon Family jump. Oh, not a Jeroa rap. Was it the Jeroa rap jump?
No, because I think I like that song.
You like the Jeroa rap?
It was the one that had that faster beat. It might have been the Vernon Family.
Okay.
Pharrell joint.
That was Pharrell joint.
It sounded
the Vernon
very
Family
similar to like a Jay-Z song I've heard.
I think it's the Pharrell joint.
Yeah. So we agree on that. I wasn't really feeling. Yeah, look it up. I wasn't really fucking with the Jeroa rap. Oh, I'm sorry, the Vernon Family. That's the Pharrell joint. The first joint, No Bad Energy, I kind of like that joint with A-Rab Music and Swizzy.
Yeah.
That was a nice opening, nice little intro track.
Yeah, it was number 2.
It was Vernon Family.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I wanted to
Good
like
call,
it.
Judah.
I wanted to like it so bad, but I was like, I just can't.
I mean, the joint, right? I did the first listen, and then I went and got the track listing, the credits, and then I looked to see who produced what.
Right.
I mean, I really have no opinion on it in terms of it's dope or not, because it's the stuff that didn't make projects, right?
Throwaways, right.
But also, like, one thing that I really liked about it is you really can tell what beats RZA did. You can tell what beats Pharrell did.
Nigga,
also,
every RZA joint, I fuck with
right,
both
and
of them
and
RZA
it's
joints.
also right. It made you excited because it's like what was he thinking when he said, "I want this beat, I want to make a song to it. It may not make the cut, but I always love to hear why they chose a record and why they started recording that record and creating that record. You get what I'm saying? I mean, I like the joint. Bar, like, you're never gonna be disappointed about bars unless Khaled is taking his verse and
doing some shit.
Right.
Yeah, right.
I mean, it's lost tapes. You get what I'm saying? It's all throwaways. The records. I mean, that joint that DJ Khalil and Dahi did.
Yeah, that was a sleeper.
War Against whatever.
War Against Love. Yeah, and he shouted out DC in the jump. Yeah, that was a sleeper right there.
Alchemist joint, No ID joint, Pete Rock. I mean,
I like the Tenacia song.
I like Tenacia too.
Yeah, some type joints. You know what I mean? Some dope joints. So I mean, I like it. I think
my favorite might have been The Art of It, that Pete Rock joint. Because he had the way he mixed the Straighten It Out.
Yeah, you heard it, right?
Oh, I heard it off the break. I was like, no.
Yeah,
oh, that shit was crazy. But then he threw the keys in there from Uptown Anthem joint. The Naughty by Nature joint.
Yeah, it's in
You don't really see producers doing that no more. Like mixing two different, like they used to do that a lot in the 90s.
Take 4 or 5 records and make one record out of 4 or 5 records.
Yeah, what you think about that, Jude?
I mean, I loved it. I love it when somebody do it now. I mean, it's difficult to do it because of the sample clearances and honestly, a lot of artists, when it was a turn of the production where you would get in with an artist and they'd be like, the first thing they say, no samples. Because I ain't trying to pay for no samples. So that X'd a lot of people out. And that was a wave where no samples. I want some production, but no samples.
Right.
So that kind of faded out. You know what I mean?
Is it a way to flip the joint so that even though you are sampling, you can get away with not having to pay for it?
I mean, there's a will, there's a way.
There's always a way. Yeah.
I mean, just for me, I like to sample, use it, play it, and then I'll play over it and play my own stuff. And then take the sample out.
Okay.
But
Like use it as kind of like a foundation.
Use it as a way to guide me musically.
Okay,
and then I take the sample out, then you don't have to clear any samples. Or you can morph it, change the key, the pitch, do different things, chop it up. I mean, you really got to start chopping the samples up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, you use it as a foundation and make something around it and take it out. And then if they want to keep the sample, then they got to pay for it.
Mm-hmm. So overall, we sound like we feeling this Nas jump.
Yeah, I like it.
It was a good, and another thing too, like listening to Lost Tapes 1 and then listening to this one, it was a lot of growth. Even though some of these songs are like 10, 12 years old, some are even as recent as last year, whatever, you can still hear a lot of maturity in Nas's bars. You know what I'm saying? I feel like even on this project, it wasn't as street as a lot of his other shit might have been. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, it ain't a whole bunch of gun talk. It ain't a whole bunch of block talk. He's talking about, African civilizations. He's talking about history. He's talking about, progressive movements within the culture. Currently, it's a lot of growth with the boy, man. I like that shit.
And that's what I'm saying is I just want to know, where he was going. You can kind of see how he was stepping out and trying to be creative and choose something different and do something. And that's what I appreciate about music.
No doubt, man.
That's what makes him a good storyteller.
Yeah.
One of the best.
Like, if you're not really paying attention, especially like I remember being like young and listening to him, you don't really I know I didn't realize he was really storytelling. It was just more so my interest in what he was saying or like my interest in the beat or something like that. It really wasn't like me thinking, oh, he's telling the story. Let me like transport myself to that story or that place or whatever.
Yeah.
But now I guess that I'm older, I hear it with different ears, or I go back and listen to some of his old stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, dang, he was really good at telling the story.
Man,
like you can almost picture it in your head.
The visualization,
like color,
man.
like I can almost see in color exactly what he's talking about. Even the emotions, like when he talks about like going through the stuff with his kids' moms.
Yeah, and that was real shit.
You know what I'm saying? The stuff with his son and things like that. It's like, dang, because I'm a very creative person, so like dream and color type of person. So when a person is telling a story, I can almost paint what they're talking about in my mind.
That man did Illmatic at 18, 19.
Crazy.
You get what I'm saying?
Crazy.
And so if you try to get an 18 or 19 to be that clear and articulate today, and no disrespect to them, but if you do that today, you're not gonna get that. He did that at 18, 19.
It's incredible.
But also, like I say, he had some OGs around him. But then he just had that aptitude to be able to do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
18 and 19. That's crazy.
It's incredible, man. As Tanji was talking, I swear, one of my favorite Nas joints, the story, as he's telling the story, man, is Undying Love. You know what I'm talking about? I thought you loved me. I thought you cared for me. I thought, you don't know about, you go back and, man, it's the joint he caught his girlfriend cheating on him. And he walked up in the house, dude,
Wait a minute.
I ain't gonna give it away. Go listen to that joint when we get up out of here, man. You talking about visualization, you gonna visualize the whole shit, man. Yeah. All right, so real quick, moving on. Let's talk Willie D, man. Willie D, just like Curry Bushwick, man. Bushwick died, he had pancreatic cancer, recently passed away about a month ago. And funeral was recently. A lot of the Ghetto Boys representation, they showed up except for Willie D. And Willie D actually had a sit down, did an interview with DJ Vlad where he discussed a variety of topics, man. But he definitely included why he didn't attend Bushwick Bill's funeral, which I really didn't know. I really wasn't hip to their whole situation, but they wasn't fucking with each other. They was beefing. Like they had some real issues. Like I guess they hadn't talked in years, and it was no type of inclination that they was going to bury the hatchet anytime soon. Like the beef was pretty much on and popping. And he basically told Vlad, like, look, I know he was my bandmate and all that, but I ain't, me and him ain't fuck with each other. So why would I go to his funeral? He said, basically his point was, that's disingenuous. You know what I'm saying? But, if I didn't fuck with this person in life, why would I go to his funeral and show fake love if that wasn't the case. Which I thought was a very interesting take. I mean, I agree with him.
It's honorable.
I definitely agree with him.
Honorable.
What y'all think about that?
I'm with it. I'm with it. You know what I'm
It's not
saying?
fake.
Yeah, I'm with
You
it.
don't have to be around the other people who know the history between them two. You know what I'm saying? Nah.
But they all had issues. Face, I did a record with Face, and Houston, right?
No doubt, no doubt.
You know, they all had issues. You know what I'm saying? And some patched it up earlier than others. But I mean, that's the type of stuff that I appreciate, right? Because you're going to go there, you're going to cause a scene, people going to know that y'all didn't rock, they going to be beefing.
Right.
I'd rather just not go. We ain't settle it. I'm not going to have an issue. I got to deal with that when, you know what I'm saying, whatever our conversation. So I appreciate it. We need more people that are honorable like that and do what they supposed to do in those situations.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it made me think about a situation. Somebody that I knew recently went to high school with. This man passed away. You know, it was unfortunate because he was definitely young. But I remember in high school, I ain't fuck with that nigga. I mean, he tried to talk to my girl at the time. You know what I'm saying? So and we was about to get into it at school. I rode up into their hallway because he was a year younger than me. But I stepped to him off that shit like, fuck you talking to my girl and shit? We about to get into it. He was cool with one of my boys from the block, you know what I'm saying, from the hood, from Largo, whatever that I knew. I was like, fuck that. I don't fuck with your man. He recently died. People sending me stuff. Oh, you know, I ain't gonna say his name, but you know, such and such died, whatever. I was like, oh, all right, I'm sorry to hear that. I'll holler at you later.
If nobody had a conversation prior to him dying to squash it, if that happened, then I will go to the funeral.
Right,
you know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
But if we never had that conversation, we never squashed it, then there's no need to go. You know what I'm saying? It's
Totally
a wrap,
agree.
you know?
Yeah, I respect Willie D for that, man. That's a stand-up dude. I always fuck with Willie D, man. And you know, I know him and Face. Yeah, him and Face had some issues too back in the day, but they squashed it. It was good to see them, you know, squash that, man. Willie D a legend, man.
Right.
He a legend. So you know. Before we get out of here, Judah, man, give the folks all your social medias, man. Let them know where they can find you. Let us know what you cooking up that might be on deck, man. Any projects, anything we need to look out for. You know what I'm saying? Let us know, man.
I mean, the thing that I'm doing now, besides the music supervision, is, you know, I'm doing a lot of, like, we do video games. We score video games. We score specials.
Nice.
Do stuff for
That's different.
man Donnell Rollins and Dave Chappelle and that stuff, you know, that Netflix stuff and their specials and podcasts and all that type of stuff. So just doing other stuff, interesting stuff. Also, too, you know, I'm into watches, and so I'm developing my own watch.
Nice.
My
That's
watch,
crazy.
hopefully my watch line, but it's really just a watch for now.
Okay.
So doing that type of stuff.
Keep us posted on that. I'm
the
gonna watch
studio-
it
I'm gonna have
too.
to talk to you about that,
Yeah.
like after the show though, because it's interesting.
I mean,
that you
that
brought
one
that
thing
up.
though, real quick, is that we really gotta expand and do other things. You know what I'm saying? I go to watch events, and I'm the only black dude there. You know what I'm saying? It's mainly Asians and whites, and they into watches, and people don't understand how important like watches and the appreciation for watches is in the world, and then also how valuable they are, because you can get a watch today, keep it for 30 years, it still work, pass it down to your son or daughter.
Absolutely.
And if they get in a hard time, you can sell it and they're taken care of. You know what I'm saying? Or your house. So people got to really understand that and get into it. And just
Yeah, I
like
like
music production, it's the engineering, the movement in a Patek Philippe or in a Rolex. It's the movement inside, the engineering, and that's how I kind of got into it from music. So, but I'm really into watches, so I'm doing more of that. My studio is still open. We like 20 years deep.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
Science
saying?
Lab. Talk about the
Yeah,
Science
we're
Lab
20
real quick
years
before we
deep.
get out of here.
One of the black
Someone
owned
asked
studios.
where it was located.
It's in Clinton,
Okay.
Maryland. It's been a St. Barnabas Road for 10, and we're in Clinton for 10 years. So 20 years, black owned, never closed a day in its life. You don't
What
have
kind of
too many
services you guys just do? Strictly music
production, recording, mixing, mastering. You know, it's just, you know, black owned studio, 20 years. You
That's
know
what's
what I'm
up.
saying?
That's
And
what's up.
never changed my prices for the past 10 years, so it's very affordable. And that's why I try to do it for the community, for those artists that are trying to make it. we don't hit heads, and it's service. Experience and service. And so not only watches, we do commercial real estate. You know what I'm saying? So we own the building that we're in.
Okay.
Other real estate and homes, and then just branching out and doing other things, because music is cool, but music is not what it once was. And so people got to understand that and kind of branch off and do other things. And Judah on the Beats on Twitter, and that's it. I don't do anything else.
Judah on the Beats, man. I want to thank you for coming through, my brother. It's been a great interview.
Appreciate
Learned a
you
lot,
having me.
man.
Appreciate
And we gonna definitely stay in touch.
That's all
We're gonna
good.
have you come back through, man. Once you get the watch game popping, because we definitely want to know about that. I'm a
That's
watch
all
dude
good.
too.
Yeah, that's what's up.
You can tell a lot about a person by the type of watch they got on. You know what I'm saying?
There
So,
you go. And
yeah.
those watch heads, you a watch head, listen, this is a Patek Philippe 5711. This is very hard to get. Get into watches, man. Invest in watches. Keep them serviced. You'll be able to pay. You'll be able to retire if you get the right watch. And invest in the right
man.
watch.
All right.
So just do it, man. Do it. We got to get into that game.
Free game, y'all. Free game. That's it for us, man. We're going to catch y'all next week. Same time, same place right here. Listen Vision Studios
Oh, hold
at
on real
12
quick.
p.m. What's
I'm
up?
so sorry. I got to shout out two people.
Go ahead.
They was like, Okay, first is my sister. Joanna, this one is for you. And secondly, Ayana. I went to see Wiz Khalifa last night, and
Nice.
she was the reason why.
Why you ain't
So-
say nothing? We could have talked about that, too.
No, it's okay. I can save it.
Was it a good show, though?
It was
Yeah.
a great show.
I'm sure it was.
A great show.
That's
Yeah.
what's up. That's what's up. All right, well, 2 words, baby. We gone.
Peace.
Thank you, man.